This is the director, so if the movie sucks, it's his fault.
It's all my fault. Yeah, Nathan's here. He's videotaping me talking to you.
Why make a fan film? Just because, well, it's fun. I've been a Star Wars fan since 1977, and when I saw Troops come out, from that point on, I'm like, you know, it'd be cool to do that someday. In 1998, 10 years ago, there was a group of people from Minnesota that went out to the desert in Arizona and decided they're going to film their own fan film. They produced it, they put it on the internet, and they sent a copy of it to George Lucas, fearing that lawyers would, you know, just like in Star Trek, Viacom sues Star Trek people who infringe upon their copyright. George Lucas, although, said, you know, you can work in my universe as long as you don't go making money. We are not allowed to recoup anything.
It's all a loss.
You are not allowed to sell the film and say, I'm just recouping my loss.
No mileage.
You are not allowed to pay anybody, no staff member, no crew member, no actors can be paid, or else you violate the copyright law. Yeah, the Florida. You heard about the Florida people who are making a movie that's also 2 hours long?
Oh, the NASA guy.
Yeah. We found out that he's actually paying for people to do his special effects, which is a no-no. That's against the rules. You're not allowed. That's a Lucasfilm thing. You are not allowed to pay anybody. So, and thing is, we saw some of the demo reels. Well, we had nothing to worry about. Could we?
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you keep that stuff here. I don't know why.
You know, it's one of those things that I accumulate, and I just thought of.
Who accumulates zombie scars in their desk?
Well, what else do you do with them? Okay, I'll put it in my desk. There we go.
No, but it's not like a cracker that you find. What do you people do here?
I'm sure they didn't think this was going to be in the tour. We're here where there's actually Star Wars shooting today. It's pretty bad.
I'd like to introduce you to some people that work on my crew. Most of us work at Fermilab, and most of us work a 5-week rotation that are not on the same crew. This is the first time Dave's been able to come because we work a 5-week rotation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gets into the right spot.
Dave is my technical director. He has a degree in technical theater. Much like that, straight across like that.
Yeah, I think that's it. Because I don't really want to ruin this whole beard, but I want it obvious. It's going to be like this and coming across to about right there.
Okay.
Oh, honey, it'll be like a fade.
This is a new fad.
And then we can etch your initials on the other side.
Max Monning, he's one of, he plays the Jedi, and He's one of the ones on shift rotations. Margaret is my producer. Without her, I couldn't get any of this scheduled. So we got Max and a clone trooper coming out.
Okay. We're going to pick up the pigs.
Yes. So trying to line up people every 5 weeks is pretty insane. And that's why it's taken so far 2 years for filming, just principal photography.
I think I brought something better for your Wookiee to have.
Yeah, and my Wookiee just canceled on me. My Wookiee canceled on me. I had a 6.5 foot high Wookiee.
This is my steampunk railgun.
Oh, that is freaking awesome.
Wow, like the back end of a Milwaukee Sawzall or something.
Eject shells as it fires.
Heavy. Mercy.
Yeah, you don't want to know how much that brass is worth.
You gotta be a Wookiee to carry this.
You do have to be a Wookiee. As people started, as our group at Fermilab, was evolving, we had people who liked to make props, and they just did it as a hobby. They make blasters, all types of stuff. They just come into the control room. Hey, look what I made. It's like, hey, that's pretty cool. That's pretty it's a lot of talent to actually just go out and say, I'm going to build some type of futuristic-looking thing. We met somebody who liked to do costumes, and eventually we came to the realization that there's a lot of talent here. We could actually make a film. Action. Okay, fire. Take 2. Your head to the right, just a tad. Orlando, press some of these buttons. Give some action. Just here. Yeah. That one right there. We're all gonna die. January of 2006, we started our first shoot, our first bit of principal photography, and that was a learning experience. One shot, the last 3 seconds, took 33 takes. Action. Cut. Action. Action. Go. We finally got that done. We realized, okay, that was a learning experience. The next shoot that we did, we expanded it. We went with, one full scene, and that involved Darth Vader, things like that. We started just basically building up all of our knowledge.
They shouldn't audition people, or you were just grateful to get the bodies?
Oh, we were grateful to get the bodies. We auditioned, Jim. My wife has an acting background. This one, you put it to your shoulder and like that.
This one works.
But don't make the sounds, because we'll pick those up. Now, let's get one of you, go like that, holding it like that, and looking and aiming straight. The actor, who was our first actor for one of the Rebels for the archaeologist, ended up getting transferred anyway out to Atlanta. So we had to recast the actor. So Jim, he's an engineer. He's a Star Wars fan. He's also a musician, and he's just decided, I love Star Wars, and he saw it in the newspaper that we were casting, and he just basically sent an email saying, I'd like to try out. He was the only one that showed up, but the thing is that when he did the audition, he was perfect. I thought of something here when Laura and I were trying to figure it out, is that Jared could start to say, well, the war, and then Laura could look over and say, don't answer that. Jim is the comic relief type of thing, and Laura's trying to keep Yariel's trying to keep let's keep the focus here. We got to get to this place. We got to, save these people. And the banter between the two is just fantastic. They have a really good rapport. And just leave it at that.
Just give them the look, or she could really punch it.
Yeah. Well, she's going to be bundled in there. But, of course, that would be a part of the slapstick one.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just try struggling to hit him and maybe gives them the look. But yeah, I think, we do need to change that line though.
We could change it to, don't answer that.
Okay.
So we could have Jim start to say, but the war has been, and then
she's just got to,
and she'll say, don't answer that.
Right, she's got to kind of talk over him and
right.
just have the upper hand and really,
right.
Okay.
So.
All right, I'll make the changes.
Is that a timer?
Oh yeah, that's.
Okay. Okay, get ready. Get ready.
Here we go.
I was showing my nephew the footage that you had up online.
I told him about the movie and he's like, well, what character are you playing? And I kind of described the character to him as a kind of a Han Solo type character. And he goes, well, what do you do? I said, well, I'm an archaeologist. This 11-year-old looks at me and he goes, so you're a smuggler, eh? I said, no, I'm not a smuggler, I'm an archaeologist. And he goes, sounds like a smuggler to me. So when we looked at some of your footage online, he said, yeah, you even look like a smuggler. Like, come on, man. Just give me a break. I'm an archaeologist who just so happens to smuggle when the opportunity presents itself. All right, do I look like a smuggler?
An archaeologist smuggler. A learned smuggler.
A learned smuggler. That's what I should use. That's what I'll use with him next time. I am a learned smuggler. Watch your mouth, boy. You deserve a little more respect. All right. This, folks, is Jared in action. I'm off to my film shoot. End of the production, yeah, I'll be a full-blown prima donna and an addict. Just can't wait. The only thing I'm not looking forward to is rehab.
But now you can go on Dr. Drew and
What about
start a whole
the
new
side
career.
job?
But the book tour,
when you get
yeah, I'm
into
looking
the
forward to that.
When you get into the side.
Because that's when I'll transition from a drug addict to a sex addict.
Where's that picture?
Yeah, you think you will.
Well, the old lady will dump me.
I was gonna say.
That's in the plan.
That's in the plan too.
So we do studio shoots in chroma key. Mainly, they're just interior shots, whether they're shots inside of a TIE fighter, X-Wing, Imperial Palace shots. We shoot here quite a bit, actually. Probably 50% of our photography is actually with blue screen.
Good morning. We have young Princess Leia's costume right here. It's your daddy.
Okay.
And you're Tom?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I'm Margaret. Hi. Really nice to meet you.
We're kind of working on the way up to the full.
Yes, the full thing, yeah.
Close up.
Okay.
So right before I
Bail, Leia, C-3PO walking down that way. The guards will be right here. They'll be the escort. Yes. I sure can. Where'd you get these?
From Margaret.
Those lead time.
Okay, so he should look a little bit older. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good. So he'll just have to thin out his
Right.
upper lip.
He's getting better at go down.
Actually, there's a group of people out there. A lot of them work at Motorola. They actually build these. There's one guy in Bolingbrook who has an R2D2 that is exact. Doors open, makes all the sounds, it's radio controlled. There's a guy in Wisconsin who has a purple R2 unit, R2S5, which has also been a part of our shoot.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, there it is.
Let's see how advanced the story really is. Can it overcome our power phase?
my eyes lit up, or do you want to?
If you can light them up.
I can light them up. I just didn't know how that was going to be on camera.
There's going to be close up.
We did doing a lot of looking.
We would see it.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you could.
Yep.
No problem. Your thing? Oh, that's cool. Wow. Was the original costume like that? Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, was it really? Wow, that's
It's
fantastic.
funny is that I never noticed it until after I started putting it together and watching and comparing. And you can actually see scenes where his pelvis actually bends.
Really? No way.
Because it's not solid.
Cool.
Which is much better. My original pelvis was two-piece back form, so it was solid. It sucked. My original shoes were shells that went over shoes.
Yeah.
And cut my ankles up. I'm so
That's-
glad I got these.
Wow.
Freaking
That's great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's literally on my face.
Right up against your.
There's no room for fans.
Oh man.
And those little tiny holes right in the middle, that's all I see through.
Really? Oh my God.
Are you gonna need C-3PO with the sky bridge?
Yes.
Stairs are bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
What we can
If
do.
it's upstairs, I need an elevator. 'cause
Yeah.
There-
I
there
think
are
there,
ways.
there should be one there.
I like. Excellent. Go with it.
So we're gonna go put
Okay,
our
go.
costume on.
Like I said, my chest is so compressed, I
Right.
can't
You can't breathe.
breathe well. So it's
Okay.
like I have to stop and
All right.
before I start
It's a
hyperventilating.
little bit of a walk, so I don't want you to.
I mean, I can do it, but it just takes some time.
I'm just thinking if I could go and find a dolly that he could sit on, and we could wheel him there.
Or stand.
You want to head between, or you want to head towards the science building?
How broke?
Broke.
Dressing a droid. You probably don't need us. Looks like he's got lots more experience.
I have experience in furries.
Say that too loud. Too much information.
Furries are scary.
They can be.
And I don't mean like Chewbacca.
Oh, come on, they're pussycats.
It's like as bad as a corset.
Except I bet you I'm dressing like Crichton.
Are you okay?
Okay.
Are you okay?
Can't
Can
talk.
you breathe?
I think you have to go.
He can't talk right now until, because if he does, you're never gonna get it.
Got it. It's in. No.
Oh shoot! Hold on, let him get another breath so he can exhale.
It's lit.
Yeah.
All right, let me get the.
You want to try one? The hardest thing is this right
Okay.
here.
Hold
has to
on.
stay.
Go.
Okay, this has got to come up a little bit. Okay, Daryl, I think we may have it. Now this should just go through in, right?
You got it?
Because there's no bolt in here.
Right.
5 people to get seated in the dress.
Hold on. I held my breath as long as I could.
Sky bridge right out here outside of this building. We filmed in that sky bridge, treating it as a basically a sky bridge going to a ship. Then we're going to move everything up to the skyway in with the film.
Okay. And then I'll need you out of frame. We can actually tell that that's a person laying there. The guards look fine.
What was that?
I heard a snap.
No, that was the leg mark. He's getting better at going down the ramp.
It's really starting to go. It's falling out.
I'm leaving a trail to find my way home.
She should have the animal crackers right now.
I'm going to have you look directly at Bale. Okay, so Princess, you look at Bale. Okay, when you see your lines. All right. Right. Okay. Action.
Once she steps foot on Barada Prime, Creef will turn her over to the Empire.
Cut.
Don't.
One more. That was really good. One more.
Creef will turn her over to the Empire.
You have to stay here, Ariel. If we are going to win this war, we can't sacrifice our best people. Don't give up on her.
Leah's right.
Cut. Yeah, Leia.
Leia.
Not Leah.
Guess it all depends on what side of town you come from.
Yeah. No, we care about this. This one,
He's getting ready for his first walk right now.
When we talked to Fermilab, about filming there. The first thing they said is, you will need a $500,000 insurance policy. We're like, no. Bye. You will see you later. Well then, we were trying to find other places to shoot, and I went back over to public relations, and I sat down with the head of public relations, and she goes, wait a minute, how many people from Fermilab are on this? I'm like, well, over 50%. She goes, well then I'm just going to write it that it's an employee event. There is no need for a lawyer and no need for insurance policy, because the lawyer was getting involved for Fermilab. We're like, no, that's okay, we'll see you later. But then she told the lawyer, this is an event that, the employees are going out having fun. Whether or not they're dressing up, well, hey, whatever. Shows you how immense this prairie is. And over here, if you can see this is actually the high rise sticking out beyond the trees. One of our best friends is glue. We can build sets with glue.
Oh, hot glue?
Hot glue.
Yeah.
Hot glue is your friend.
Here's another piece, Darren. You want this guy too? Sure.
You weren't lying when you said hot. I told you it was hot. Told you so. And the other bit.
See, I'm winding him up so he can run again.
Wind up Malik.
And then he'll be able to run again. Perfect. There you go.
Mysteries of wardrobe.
Dun, dun, dun. Nice casual trait. All right, now I want to see it. Just run again. Keep him There he goes. Way better. Oh yeah. Do like a cartoon turnaround, like. It can fall. It's not gonna fall off like it did before. Like off. Like
now I think we could just put the tape on the hair.
Okay. You wanna do it?
And that'll stick it, and I think finally it'll stay in place.
Anybody who says they're going to do a fan film on the forums, they say is there a forest involved. Just because 99% of them, you can go into a forest, you can film, and you can't see the road, that's 50 feet ahead. Luckily at Fermilab, we have wide open spaces. It's 6,800 acres, most of it being prairie, most of it being burned once a year. And that makes for some pretty good effects as well, background plates, when we shoot. We were lucky, the day that we shot, when we were building on location last April, they actually were doing a prairie burn. And you can't time this stuff. It has to be a perfect day for that department to get out and actually start prairie burns. Because you don't want it to be too windy, it can't be soggy. So we actually had, in one scene where a Jedi is running towards the crash, we actually had huge amounts of billowing smoke. It just lined up perfect. Yeah, for free. We had a smoke machine, just high-powered smoke machine, had it billowing smoke out of this while we were filming. built the set. This is the crash scene where TIE fighters have basically shot down this ship that has 2 rebels in it. Jedi comes up, cuts them out, type of, shot setup.
And 1, 2.
Morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? I think we have like probably just about 12 extras. Mostly stormtroopers, some Imperial techs. Because I guess they all have different outfits. And then there's this kind of a small battle. It's not the big one. It's got a little small battle.
I brought the tech uniform, and I brought my regular I got my pauldron. Yeah, I didn't bring a pauldron. I was the regular stormtrooper. Yeah, and you just got this. I just brought it in case somebody needed it. Yeah.
We had pizza from Pizza Hut, Rosati's. We had so much food that we had to throw some of it away, unfortunately. We had a massage therapist volunteer to come out. So she came out and she had a tent set up, and every stormtrooper who was out there in their hot armor could come out and, I need my massage.
Well, you're gonna have a long day, so we want to make sure that you're there. Okay. All right.
Life of a director's a hard one, eh?
Yeah, that's great.
All right, y'all loosened up now?
Yes.
Okay.
They got involved, and one of the guys, when he first got there, he goes, I've been on fan films before. I don't expect much out of this. We're going to be standing around. You guys won't know what you're doing. I was surprised. I'm like, okay, well, that's your opinion. Afterwards, he goes, you guys were on the ball. You had a choreographer. You had food. He goes, and of course the masseuse just topped it off. So
Bruce out there is going to put all you guys, set you up, go through practice runs.
The white guy?
I'm the white guy. Yeah.
Do we have the officer out here yet? No, you do one shot. Hopefully, we're going to get this one. Bang, 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 bang. Why did the ship blowing off?
We've been hit!
That's Jim.
Oh, geez, don't stand there.
Did you see that, Joe? Leave it in the film. Leave it in the film.
this is some of the props. One of the blasters in the movie. When we shot out in the prairie, the guy was supposed to pull a blaster on the Jedi. His lightsaber cuts it, and then he pushes him back.
Wow, breakaway gun, excellent.
We had to take one of the old Kenner 1977 ones, which the 501st tried to get all of their hands on. Essentially cut it in half, put some metal in between it, and use gaffer's tape to hold it together. A lot of times, okay, we're rolling, it just falls right off. But then you get the beauty shots, right, where you have it actually stay on there, the guy pulls it up, and Max comes along, bam, pieces go flying. Perfect shot. When that happened, turned out we had like 40 spectators behind us, and people just started clapping. We didn't know that there were people behind us.
Done it here enough. We gotta get something done. We'll get something done. That's perfect. Hey Scott, go get that. Turn that litter. Action.
I have to say, that's one of the funniest things from that shoot in April was, okay, everybody run out onto the field and pull up your trooper that you're assigned to. That was great.
Jedi Knights of the Dark Side Force descended on Batavia today. It was the start of production of the fan movie, The Forgotten Realm. It's the brainchild of Fermilab physicist and movie buff Darren Crawford is producing a 2.5-hour Star Wars film in the suburbs. Today, they spent a lot of time practicing a lightsaber action scene. Crawford's using his own money for the project. He says it's a dream come true.
I'm a Star Wars fan, have been ever since 1977. Star Wars came out on my 10th birthday, so I've been a fan ever since.
Fan films such as this can do it because George Lucas has liberal copywriting rules. He created Star Wars, as you probably know. He always allowed fans to add to the storyline as long as they don't make money on the projects. Crawford says he will not, and his actors and crew are volunteers. He hopes to release the film in a couple of years.
Curtain number one.
Commander stuff on, Darren, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you got the blaster too. The pistol.
The skirt and the, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't mind calling it a skirt.
My girdle here. Well, no, it takes a while to bruise.
Of course, I had to have the high top shoes instead of the shoes that were slided because I thought it looked more authentic. Yeah, just screwed it as tight as it gets.
The toolbox underneath the table.
Amazing those troopers got anything done, right?
No kidding.
You think they slept in their armor?
Yeah, because we want to take this on and put it off all the time.
It's just easier to sleep that way.
After that, we have a Darth Vader who is 6'5". His name's Ted O'Sullivan. He has the costume. He's built it over the years. He's part of the 501st, which is a costuming group, Star Wars costuming group. He goes to parades, whatever functions the 501st have here just in Chicagoland. And in Chicagoland, they have a good 400 members. Not everybody who has a costume, you think that, oh, hey, there's a fan film, I got a costume, I want to get involved. That's actually not true. This is their part of being in Star Wars. And they go march in parades, and they do telethons and things like that. There's another subset that, hey, if fan film comes along, count me in. And one of those guys is Mark Van Slyke. Mark plays Clone Trooper number 1 to 1,000. His credits will be pretty immense. He also is an Imperial officer, a biker scout, stormtrooper, Captain Brill. So he has several different personas in the movie. Most of them having masks on, so you don't know it's the same guy over and over and over. And plus, being Clone Trooper number 1 to 1,000 means a lot of crowd duplication, because we only have one Clone Trooper in the entire Chicagoland, and this calls for an army.
The Death Star plans are not in the main computer.
Say something else.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need my identification.
We don't need to see your identification.
How well can you see out of this helmet?
I can't really look down. I can see all right, but you can't really, I have to kind of bend down.
Can you hear people in this?
I actually have a little thing I usually wear, like these little earbuds, and there's a little hearing thing that goes right here.
Because I see your voice, there's a little thing here for your voice.
This is the...
Wait, do that again?
So now when I talk, it amplifies it.
Now that little, are you doing that?
No, that's the board in the helmet. I got a little fan in here too, but I don't really need it right now. Yeah, there's a little CPU fan right there.
Does it really help?
It keeps the eyepieces from fogging up real bad.
Oh, okay.
There's actually a lot of work getting this dirty.
So did you buy it clean and made it dirty?
Yeah.
Was it actually sand or is that like
There's
base?
actually dirt in there, yeah. I mean, if you can feel the handpiece, you can
Oh,
really
it
feel
is, you're right. It's really
called
tough.
Fuller's Earth. It's used for like in models and props and stuff. But there's like 3 different pigments. There's like a burnt umber, some other umber, and then yellow ochre.
So there's actually fake dirt.
Yeah.
Now, have you always been a sand trooper?
No, when I first did this, I was a stormtrooper. And then since then, I've been
What made you
getting
change
dirty.
to sand?
Sand troopers look cool.
Other places we filmed, at Fermilab, Minos. Minos is the main injector neutrino oscillation program. It's 360 feet underground. It was bored, about 5 years ago?
They finished about.
Yeah, about 5 years ago. Basically, a lot of dynamite and blasting.
boring machines.
Yeah, tunnel boring machines. So 360 feet underground, that's a tunnel that leads to the experiment. The one thing you don't see is that the tunnel actually goes like this. So they're actually leaning backwards.
Yeah, the bathrooms, if you have to go to the bathroom, make sure you go before you go down because it's only upstairs. So you have to plan. Okay. No food, no cigarettes. No food, no cigarettes, no drinks.
No booze, okay.
No booze. You're going to be escorted by the operators that are in the room, number one. So if you haven't been trained, the operators have been that work for the lab, number one. You're 360 feet underground, guys. And the biggest thing I ask is that you just pay attention to what's going on. If he's going down the shaft, just be careful he doesn't get hurt. You know? Anything you do, don't get hurt.
Ted, Bruce, Max, and I are going to go down. And anybody else?
After I tell you all this, it sounds fairly scary and we don't have any problem. Trying to think anything else. I think that's it. The only thing.
Thank you very much.
Have fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
See ya.
You're on basically if you go up in the when you go up in the absorber passageway, it's about a 10% grade. So just watch how you're walking. I mean, it's fairly steep, so you just want to watch your footing. Everything is pretty much clear in there.
Let's head on up anyway, because I know there's a fair amount of water running down here, and water runs through these little gutters, you know, just continuously. It's good water too.
And at some point, as Bruce is put into this, Sabers going to take the advantage and push you through those doors. That's where the next scene comes in, where we'll film later.
Downstairs is the magnetic field. So when you're downstairs, you said you're going to stay on the upstream side of the red line. There's a red line right on the floor with some signs. Just don't go past that. It's not going to hurt you if you do. It's about a 5 Gauss field that's on the other side. So unless you have an implant, a stent, something like that, then you really don't want to go on that side. But if you're healthy, even your credit card should be okay on that side. But we want to keep you on the other side of the line, mainly for equipment at that point.
Very cool. Yep, they're doing their stretches.
to the side. And push your palms straight out as if you have walls there. So left leg, push front and back. Strike low, middle, middle, high, high. Then you come back into a low, but he blocks you away. When you step back, you block, when you attack again. So it's going to be like this. You're going to take another step. You're going to do the same thing this way. Then this is going to be high, but I'm going to be coming for your head this way. Now you can still come like this, but you're going to have to turn your body a little bit like this. This is going to be too difficult for you. I know this is the way we practiced before, but it's not going to work like that. So this is going to be, because I'm going to just slide right along and cut you. So this is going to have to come like this. But remember, you've got to find a balanced position. Because if it's not a balanced position, I'm going to slide like this. And that's certainly a technique that you would do with a laser sword that you wouldn't necessarily try with a metal wedge thing. So you got to make sure that it's up here and it's balanced like that enough. Okay? I'm saying this is, I'm sitting up high. It's like this. Then I'm going to take a step and I'm going to do the same thing here. Then I take one step and come down here for your B again. Then you're going to take a step and strike in B. And let's just get this first time. So let me work with him for this one. So you can see what you're doing. So you're like this. So you're going to take a step and strike low, low, middle, middle, high, high, and then low again.
Oh, this close to the white dome, I'm sorry.
Okay?
That's better.
That was good. Okay. Spin around. Come down. Actually, that's not right. Just like this is that. So you struck like that. He jabs.
Oh, I flip it the other way, don't I?
You go this way. But this was done on an incline. This was not done on an incline. And I may have to take strike. So this is this strike right here. Then he pushes it out, cuts forward. I block this up. I want this to swing out like this and grab, because this is one of your signature poses. This is the pose. Then you step forward and strike down. Step forward again, strike like that, and then what I'm going to do, let's see, actually I want it like this, because the camera's going to be over there. Pull out like this, he blocks across. Remember, yes, but don't even try to grab hold of this. All you're doing is pushing this forward. Let's see him. Push. Yes. Push that. No, it's back and forth at this point. You don't go down, and then you step forward and you attack. Then step forward. Step forward one more time. Now you swing to his right hand. So after you hit this, then you bring this back and you jab. And that's when he blocks back. Yes. And that was good, isn't it? No, don't hold it, touch and go. Right first, to the right, to the right, to the right. To the right, because you have to remember to do it to the right, to the right. Should we move?
see a reaction from him. I'll clap when for you to start moving. You guys are sort of like this. Okay.
Oh, look good.
What happened?
Did I hit you? No. Oh, you're really fogged up. He's totally fogged up.
Okay.
I was looking good. No, you know,
We're just filming.
no, now I understand. This lead, I'll follow. I understand what you're working with here. He's really fogged up.
This point of view, just start the whole thing over and move it this way. And then once we're done with this from this angle, then Bruce is going to go into a couple other things to sort of move down the hall. And action. Right in the middle of the shot.
Yeah, that was really good.
Next. Talk, check. I wonder if he had that because I know that's the one thing that they found with Dolly.
They were in the effort shot.
Just like this.
How's that looking?
Oh, good, yeah. Yeah, you got skin hanging off you. A big fight?
You want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There you go.
That was it.
Action. Cut. That's a keeper.
Well, he's going to do what would be the most obvious killing strike. The
Straight
most
over.
quickest thing. and he's going to come up and he's going to come right like that. And so you've got to pick this thing up, not like this, because then he just chops through your hand and your head. You got to bring it up like this. And you've probably seen Malik use this a couple of times, so you know sort of how he holds it. But I would suggest, just to show your ignorance, is you put both hands together, almost right on top of each other. And then, but you got to make sure, because if this, any part of this is over your head,
sure,
that's done.
That
so
is,
you got to have this.
He's going to be aiming
Right.
there, so I want to.
Yes, but keeping that right. But you're going to have to use two hands because he's too strong. You're doing it with one hand. Nobody's going to believe it. So, where did this guy come from?
No, they're going to say that guy's badass.
Yeah, don't land on the floor. That would suck.
Don't look like what Ed did. You missed that.
All right, this is good, Bird.
And then we'll line that camera up later. Okay. So let's shoot from one camera right now. Action.
Put that down. Don't be a fool. You don't need me anymore?
No, we're done. We're done. Thanks, Boo.
Which is that box, you know, the black here, you know, the one with all the plastic wood-looking material around it. That's Coop. It's a dark matter experiment, bubble chamber check. So that is running. Okay. The detector isn't running. The magnet isn't on. So none of the, you know, the red line really doesn't make a difference to you. Any of that stuff right now. But there is construction down there. So what I ask you to do is just be careful in any of the areas where you're walking. Because what I don't want to do is have somebody get hurt, then we have to end up calling somebody out there.
Everybody's up for seeing a little bit of the footage that we edited together. It's very cool.
There you go.
You're
being counted.
Better say one.
I love it.
No, thank you not.
Pull back more on this.
Saber looks like
A little bit.
Person who is a martial artist, especially a laser sword master, doesn't stand up the way Max would have stood up at that point. He would have stood up in a more defensive posture. So I'll have to show him that. They have some scenes where actually you're acting like you're pushing him down and you're retreating, but you guys got to remember that maybe you think you're doing that, but you know you're drawing him this way. And then they're going to walk down a little bit further, and then there's a fight scene, and then walk a little bit further, and then there'll either be one fight scene or the fight scene before the door. Okay? Okay. You're going to come like this. You're going to be coming like this. Remember your signature pose? Yes. Okay. So you're going to come like this. You're going to come like this. You're going to take a step. You're going to come down, do a strike. You're going to step forward, do a lunge. You're going to step forward, do a strike again, and then you're going to step forward and do another lunge. So I'm hesitant to show you the other things. I'd like to do this and then go to the next one.
You guys heard any more about the NASA film?
The NASA film?
NASA Star Wars film?
Last I heard was last time when Darren looked on the page and it said, we're going to make ours like a month before that cockamamie group at Fermilab. I don't think they named us, but...
I think that guy's messing with me there.
I think so.
You know, it's too, like, resonant with what Darren's doing.
He's sitting in the basement somewhere saying, "Oh, we're gonna get our thing done."
Now, if that was a good laser sword, it wouldn't have bothered you at all. Do it nice and slow, okay? So you'll understand what you're doing, and then we're going to speed it up a little bit. But eventually, it doesn't have to be fast, but it has to be fluid. Good. 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 And now go back into the posture like this. Yes. Like this. Foot slide. And if you change quickly, you just change your foot back. Yeah. Okay. You don't want your foot too much like this. It limits your movement.
Scout troopers look really cool coming down.
Oh yeah.
Very evil. It's very reminiscent of Tatooine. Walking through the streets. Yours is a 2-hour film. What can you tell me about your film? And all I said back is it's between episodes 3 and 4. That's what I told him, and that's about it. You know, and
I think he's toying with you.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if he's not yanking your chain.
It doesn't sound authentic. It sounds like somebody that's just having a laugh at your expense.
Is this the guy from Florida?
yeah. So, well, they got a site up now, and they do have some footage on it. So,
Really?
yeah, they have their site up. It's halfway finished, I should say. Half of the links you can't click on. Yeah.
What's the footage?
He said he's got a deadline of December 2008 because I had put out there ours is January 2009.
All of it is shot on location inside the shuttle.
So what I did in the email I sent back to him, I said, yeah, we're shifting our release date till June of 2009. And we're gonna try and undercut that if we can.
Yeah, reel him in, man. Oh, surprise,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, everybody back at the tunnel.
You're cordially invited to the screening of it.
Yeah, just send them the invite.
If you get the public broadcast, turn on your TV to channel 43.
Yeah. So we're also going to try and have the for the premiere. We'll be over at the high rise at the auditorium if we can get it.
Cool.
And
Have you talked with them about it already? She has, good.
For a company or for
We should have stormtroopers guarding all the doors and everything too.
Well, a couple people offered.
Yeah? Awesome.
Hey, we can come out.
I'll do that.
Do you know when he started filming?
He started filming this year.
And that's what was,
Exactly.
you know, this back here is the detector.
Does he have any
The rest
tracks on the internet?
I mean, all that we're not doing.
There's a little bit of who he is on there. He has a picture, you can link to it, and it shows him and his family.
Their dog.
If we can find a street address, we just go out, we just take an EMP, electromagnetic pulse machine, boom! Oh, his footage is gone!
Everything back here.
I don't understand how it happened.
Sorry about your computer. I heard you had a problem with it.
Isn't that weird?
That's a really good shot. But I mean, we're totally screwed.
No, I'll grab a cup.
We're just looking how totally screwed we are.
It's just clear plastic with a bunch of roof material that keeps falling as we keep putting it up. But it's not roof. It's we're trying to seal the roof for a new detector we're putting in. So gravity takes over sometimes when you're kind of troweling this stuff on. You put it on, and then it just falls down. So.
See that one? Oh, sorry. The one before that?
Yeah, it's that we just can't get a shot.
Now see, that would work better than the regular helmet.
I guess I can see.
Stick and he'd live.
I actually, my padding in my helmet is from an old hockey helmet. So you could probably hit me with that helmet on and I'd be alright.
Sperm stain, tough.
better after
this.
After he gets the strike on his head, which we could put in earlier than what I was expecting. We could put it in this very next scene, and then they could have another of the three. I'm thinking there's three things here before we get to the door, which is the last one.
Okay.
We could put that one into that part right there, but then that's the part where then we're going to need the makeup.
Okay, that's fine.
You're taking real big steps, Max. Real big.
How's the helmet? Did you get his helmet?
Yeah, just a little bit. It wasn't a hard contact, but I definitely did it.
You're still pressing wills and skills against each other, and you can have these things, comments, and then you can do the next three strikes, and you can throw them in again.
So you've seen his contents, and then you will not leave this planet, or you will not leave this planet alive, essentially. All right, and you can get burned at that point. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
That's the point
They
when
can really
it flips,
ham up
right?
the,
No, that's the flip is down there.
Okay.
And here's something else I was thinking about. You had commented about those doors. They were going to be open or closed. Okay, they're closed now. They've been closed all this way through. I think that after he burns him, Vader takes a moment, goes back, does his force things, and we have somebody down there opening the doors somehow. Can we do that? I don't know if that's how we're going to communicate that, but we had to do that at some point, and this would be a good point, because that would be the next one. The next scene would be in front of them, the open doors, where he's having his way and turning the whole thing around.
My door for one door. You want to shoot in the big elephant doors that are at the shaft end that show you up the emergency walkway. You can open those. We call them elephant doors because they're the same doors at Lincoln Park Zoo. So, contractor rebuilt Lincoln Park Zoo with the elephant house, so we use the same doors in our facility.
Nice!
Okay, here's the creepy skin. We got the skin. But there should be like a palette, like makeup.
Just kind of hung off a little bit.
Yeah, like a little skin hanging off.
Yeah.
That color looks disgusting. Color. Ooh. Want it to be really bloody anywhere?
Sizzly.
Sizzly where? Here?
Sizzle is good.
There's a balance here where people, if they're together and they're powerful, they can hold themselves off here at this point. The object is for me to gain balance, is to change my position like this. It's harder for him to hold that unless he changes his position, steps forward. And the person with the power will control this until they get around, okay? Because if you don't, the thing comes in like this, and then you slice through the person. This isn't regular sword play. This is going to be something similar. We have to be very careful when we're doing this, though, not to get the things up here like this, because that wouldn't work, because you know that just a little thing like that will get them. So it's got to be off like this, where swords are like this, and you guys we're going to have to practice this a lot so that you can show, because we can't actually put a lot of force in it, and this is not a strength thing. This is a matter of balance in real swordsmanship and a matter of will for you two guys. And Darth is the stronger, and he's got you down there, and he's already injured you once, so now comes the end.
I watch Marcel in concert, so.
Like that? Okay. I'll keep it. Yeah.
Then I get coffee cake.
The thing is that his clone trooper costume is in episode 3, which means the helmet is different. So we got that.
Oh, look, we have an old Band-Aid.
Yeah, there's an old one. So we can know what to make the one.
The new one, yeah. I don't think we want to put this on anybody's.
I'm done with defragging. I'm done with adware. I'm done with viruses. I'm done with.
What'd you do, buy a Mac?
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. It's great.
What are those, Darren? The software we have, we can do match moving. We can actually have a grid on the blue screen, another grid that we can key out later on. We'll move the camera in the scene, and we tell After Effects to look at these reference points and come up with, recreate that geometry, and then we apply it to the background.
What? I teach 5th grade.
That's cool.
We use a lot of software. Icarus is a motion tracking package. If I take a camera and go like this, Icarus can actually track it. Icarus was developed for, oddly enough, for crime scene reconstruction. People started recognizing that, well, this is pretty powerful, not just for crime scene reconstruction, but you can actually take now your raw footage, track it, so you can film this camera movement, and now you have a CG plate as well, or camera setup, that will behave the same way. So if the camera moves like this in the scene that you just filmed, the camera in Lightwave will do the same exact thing. It's actually freeware.
Unless there's something I'm talking into.
No, you're not.
You know.
You're addressing them from on top of this cliff, basically. Action! Group on, and hot! Okay, we're rolling. Action.
Troops. The evil we swore to defeat has triumphed. So that our visitors can continue the...
Sorry.
Where do I go out of the blue screen?
Actually,
I guess
you're right there, right there. Making sure that these dots are in the background and always in the background.
Turn a galaxy against its oppressors.
Cut.
Oh boy, that's nice and saturated. I like that. Sounds like a crystal mic. Well, he's got to be belting it out. That's the one thing I know. He's got to be belting it out. Yeah, we're all gonna die, and that's pretty bad. But yeah. You guys rock.
All right.
Peace in our time. I have here from Darth Vader an instrument of peace. Yeah.
Scene 88, shot 1, take 1.
Here you can see before and after, but that's a background plate just of an interior of a TIE fighter. It was actually generated using Lightwave 3D. It's a package basically that Hollywood uses. You can take a ship. There's actually a whole group of people out there that make ships. This is a hobby of theirs. They make them in CG, and they put them out there for people to use. That Star Destroyer took a guy a year and a half to do, and when he was done, he can't make any money off of it because it's proprietary, because it actually belongs to Lucas. So what's he do? He just says, hey, I did this, here's what I can do. He can put it in his portfolio and get a great job, but also he put it out on the web, and that's great. Otherwise, this would take 10 years to make these things. One of our ships, called the Saga, this is the ship that we're using. In Lightwave, you have the camera. You can move that camera anywhere in the scene that you want. You can keyframe the camera and keyframe the ship. So you can have the ship going by and you can have the camera track it. So you can have the camera follow it, or you can have the camera go past it while the ship goes by. I can have the ship start tumbling out of control, pull the camera back, or I can have the ship go away from the camera to get the same effect.
And this thing knows where the light sources are and all the shines.
I set up the light sources. The ship, the engines themselves are light sources as well.
So you tell it where you want the light sources to be. And the image came off the internet for free.
The model came off the internet for free. This is actually a planet. The continents are actually taken from a picture of Montana. Took a picture of Montana, started cutting it up in Photoshop. Came up with some continents. Essentially, grabbed coastlines of Asia, started filling those in, mapped it to a sphere. The clouds come from the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. And then we put a blue glow around it, which is the atmosphere. Here, this frame at the bottom of the TIE fighters and the asteroids, generated in Lightwave. That one frame took, what was it? Was that when we first did it on the one computer?
That one took a week or two.
A week on one frame. To render. That was a
dual athlon.
Yeah.
It was an antique system.
Yeah. We've upgraded to 2 other machines since then.
I was thinking a week for a movie was fantastic, but a week for a frame.
Yeah. That's an EXR format, and each one of those frames came in almost, was it a gig, I think. And we maxed out our hard drive easily.
You can import real footage into here, and it would do camera moves against it.
No, I export it from here and put it into After Effects. You can do a lot of stuff with After Effects. Basically, lets you bring in your raw footage. You have your raw footage already saved on your computer. You bring it into Adobe After Effects. You can also composite live action and CG. That's what After Effects really was made for, was compositing. What you're actually seeing here is the same prairie burn twice. You're seeing the background part of it, and then we cut out a portion here in the foreground. So now it looks like the ship is actually sandwiched in between. So when this actually runs, it just billows. You get a nice 3D type of perspective.
Tap. One more time. Right, left.
This is a lightsaber. It actually is, we got this off of eBay for about $35. It belongs to one of those that actually light up, people carrying them in parades. We ripped the guts out of it and essentially put a piece of metal in there, bored it out, and got a $2 piece of aluminum from Radio Shack or wherever, Ace. So this actually doubles. Jedi carries this in the scene. When it's time for a lightsaber fight or whatever, to have this ignited, we put this in, tighten it down, and when we film it, he's holding it like this. Everywhere he moves in the frame, we have to match that in After Effects. So we're filming at 29.97 frames per second. You have to do that, match it, because if you don't, you will see it.
So there's nothing that says find the red and replace it with.
People have tried to do that, and it just doesn't work. This is a shot of Max and Ted down in the tunnel. You can see, here's what it looks like, first frame. Now, rotoscoping. So come over to here, I can go click, click, and I'm going to create a mask. When I come down, I close, say I want to close this mask, invert, and I've masked out the lightsaber. After that, I'm going to basically give it a Gaussian blur. And then you take 3 more steps of blur. Essentially, you duplicate those 3 steps, increasing the blur each step, change the color, you have a lightsaber. Now, Darth Vader's lightsaber shouldn't be white. You have a lightsaber.
And that would take you an hour?
Fast forward, yeah. If you're really
I
got
mean,
a lot of coffee.
for a 5-second clip?
Yeah. For a 5-second clip, you've got well, times 30, right? So 5 seconds times 30 frames per second. Yeah. So you can get through that in a couple hours or so.
5 seconds is a nice break.
Yeah, it is a 10-minute fight scene.
It's a long fight scene actually. It
goes down the tunnel and into the experimental hall.
Goes into the experimental hall.
So that's weeks worth of rotoscoping to get that lightsaber on a 10-minute fight scene. Well, you get enough people.
Just that one lightsaber too.
That's just that one lightsaber. You got to go down the tunnel. This is without sound effects. You can hear clack, clack, clack. We've already put the swords on.
So people could be talking in the background.
They are actually. If we turn it up, you'll hear.
Low, low, middle, high, low, jab.
So that's one of our completed shots. Then, once we get that segment done, then there'll be music added to it as well. Got to put some Darth Vader breathing in, tunnel sounds, all types of stuff like that. Want to see some footage? Our workflow. This is how our workflow looks, and it's kind of monstrous. We actually capture the video through Premiere. We'll go ahead and capture it, 720 by 480. Once we get it in Premiere, we then send all the footage, deinterlace it in Premiere, and send it to After Effects. So we deinterlace it, put it in After Effects, set the aspect ratio, and then color correct. If there's rotoscoping, then we do that. Key out the blue screen, depending if that's in there as well. We composite layers together. If we have a CG background and live action in the foreground, we composite it, and then we render it. Once that rendered shot is done, we send it back to Premiere. And then the audio will go through ADR, so we'll get the actors to redo all their lines in a studio. That way we don't have the background hiss or we don't have the background noise. When you're 360 feet underground and you got lightsabers clacking, it's very accurate. But we'll take the audio that was recorded, the actor will put on headphones, listen to what he said, and repeat it into a microphone in a studio setting.
And how do you deal with
getting the sound of a guy 20 feet out in the field as opposed to sitting in ADR?
We have the wireless mics that we can put into armor. So those guys who are wearing armor, or if we have Max who's out in the middle of the field saying something, we have the wireless mics. Finally, the music. We have a person that is going to do all of our music. Another person works at Fermilab, Wally Kissel, and he's agreed to it. He basically said the other day, yeah, I listened to Star Wars again. There's a lot. Yeah. I said, are you up for it? He goes, there's a lot there. So we're gonna, when we finish the product, we will have our original music with it. So once the audio comes back in, then you can take your video, your audio, put them together. So you have an audio track and a video track, merge them together, create that shot, and then assemble all of the scenes, render all the scenes together, and then you have a completed movie. So, Saga continues. So our goal is basically complete principal photography by October 1st. It's a goal. Margaret has set that. This year. We have a little bit to go. We've actually ramped up the number of times we've been filming. In 2006, we filmed probably 6 times. 2007, quite a bit. This year, oh my gosh, it's almost every week, every other week. We want to finish the movie by March of next year. Then in April, we'll premiere it on Fox Valley TV and submit it to the fan film contest, which the rumor has it, well, I should say, Chicago's in the running for next year's Star Wars convention. It'd be great. We could submit it and be a hometown type of film. Then after that, we're going to distribute it to the internet. It's you know, from our very beginning, taking on a full feature-length film without having something, you know, under our belt already.
It was going to be this big when you got into it.
I didn't even know if I could get. I basically went out and looked at resources.
Okay.
I saw there were like 20 Vaders in the Chicagoland area. Okay, odds are I can get one.
Mm-hmm.
There are 40, 50 stormtroopers in the Chicagoland area. Odds are I can get a few. You know, it's everybody who's volunteered has just been very dedicated. I really appreciate it. It's a learning experience, and it's been a lot of fun.